Hello everybody and welcome to Letterboxbookclub. Book Club. My name is Claire.
And I'm Mackenzie.
And today we are joined by our friend Maddie once again.
Maddie.
Hello.
And today we are discussing Does It Hurt by H.D. Carlton. A banger.
I'll start us off with the blurb. Who am I? I've forgotten the answer to that question long ago. Ever since I ran from that house, so desperate to escape, I left with only the clothes on my back and socks on my feet. After that day, I've only ever walked in stolen shoes. Could I be a girl who is searching for the meaning of life in faceless men? They were all so forgettable. Until he came along. He took me under a waterfall and made me forget my name, and in return I took his instead. Enzo Vitali. An enigmatic man that will only ever love the deep sea, or rather the predators that inhabit it. Turns out he's not so different than the monsters he feeds. He lured me onto his boat like a fish in the ocean, seeking vengeance for my crime. Had I realized his intentions, and that a massive storm would leave us shipwrecked, I would have ran. Now, I'm a girl who's seeking refuge in a decrepit lighthouse, with a man who loathes me almost as much as he craves me. He wants to hurt me, but the old caretaker of the abandoned island may have intentions far more sinister. It's no longer a question of who I am, but rather, will I survive? Also, I just feel like that blurb is terribly written.
Yeah. It sounded like it.
It sounds really clunky. And I did well. I read it all that time.
And I was going to say, you did a good job.
Thank you. Didn't like it.
It didn't feel right out of the mouth.
Didn't feel right.
Alright, Maddie, being our guest, thoughts, feelings and emotions.
Did it hurt? Yes, it did. I don't know. Like I've gone down a bit of a H.D. Carlton binge, reading Haunting, Hunting, and now this. And maybe I don't know if dark romance isn't my thing, but I read throughout this whole thing, and I struggled to get through it. Like I kept swapping from ebook to audiobook to ebook, just to push through because I'm never good at DNFing books in general, but I came close with this one.
Fair enough. Kenzie, thoughts, feelings and emotions.
This book took me on a journey of self-discovery, a journey to places I didn't know I needed to go, that I didn't really want to go. This book made me question things that I haven't thought to question ever in my life, and that I don't want to question ever again. I used to really like lighthouses. Also, the imagery of a lighthouse is not lost on me. Both in penile imagery and also guiding me to a place.
So is it fair to say the book sent you round the twist?
Yes, it did, and it did hurt. I know with Haunting, I'm like, I'd recommend this to people for the lull. Like, I can't even recommend this to anyone because it was so shit. Like, it felt like, I know I didn't talk about this when we just recorded a little bit before, but it felt like 3 different storylines. It felt like 3 drafts that got smushed.
Fair.
And I just didn't understand what was happening. I mean, I did, but from I am a person reading words on a page, I understood what was happening, you know?
Yes.
But from a person experiencing this journey, I didn't understand what was happening. And I enjoy dark romance, you know? I love lots of weird things that some people might not enjoy. But, there's a line. I don't know.
Fair enough. Alright, my thoughts, feelings, and emotions. After much debate earlier, I still think I enjoyed this more than Haunting Adeline. I liked the suspense, and I liked the thriller aspect to it.
I think you're wrong.
That's fine.
You're entitled to your wrong opinion.
Anyway, I liked that era of like paranormal aspect when they thought like obviously the lighthouse was haunted, which we all know we saw through that. Hey, it's just what I liked about it. Anyway.
Yeah, I didn't believe the haunted side for a second.
I didn't, but I like the idea of it because in haunting Adeline, I know one of Kenzie's qualms was, and I agreed with her, that like it gave off the vibe of more paranormal nature surrounding it, and that there was none there. So I was happy that there was at least some in this book, even though, whether or not you believed it.
There was once the one ghost that showed them to where they needed the plot device to go to and was never mentioned ever again. And I think that's why I had no hope for this one having supernatural aspects, because H.D. Carlton's already proven that she's not that great at writing the supernatural elements.
But it doesn't matter. It was really a no thoughts, head empty journey for me, and I thought, wow. A lot of things I ignored in this book, and I just soldiered on, but I acknowledged it, but I moved on. It was words on a page for me, but yeah. Yeah, I enjoyed it more than Haunting Adeline, mainly because I finished this book, and yeah. Any qualms? Straight off the bat?
I don't think I was expecting as much incest in this book, or any incest, to be perfectly honest.
Oh, yeah. It's not great.
You should read Credence.
Yes. I've heard that.
Yes. Just evil, diabolical laughter. Yeah,
I really enjoyed Credence.
Good for you. I love that.
As an adopted person.
Alright. But yeah. Any other qualms?
I have qualms.
Alright. Yes, Kenzie, go.
The entire book.
Of course.
I have a qualm too.
Yes?
I can't wipe this from my memory.
Fair enough. You gotta, like, take your brain out, scrub it, put it in some bleach.
When we get to qualms, like, specifically, I will go bing, and then I will explain in detail my qualm.
Or maybe that can apply to everyone, actually.
Okay.
Yep.
Share the love.
Well, my sound is bing.
My sound may also be bing.
Oh.
Well, if we're going to
Well, oh no, I'm bing, someone needs to be bong, and someone needs to be bang.
Oh, okay. I'll be bong.
I'll go bang then.
There we go.
Cool. Alright, so we'll dive into a bit of plot stuff.
Okay.
Alright. First few chapters is really intense because Sawyer is running away.
Uh-huh. What did you think of Sawyer, Claire?
It took me a while to realise that she was a woman. It took one of the chapters, I think it must have been maybe chapter 2, chapter 3, whatever. She was talking about after like a recent hookup or something, and she mentioned the word cock, and I'm like, wait, is this not a man? So I had to I did a little rewind. I didn't know Sawyer was like a gender neutral name. Good for her. It was very creative.
It's very American.
It's a little bit on the nose. Sorry to bounce around like this, but it's a little bit on the nose having a shipwreck story with a character called Sawyer.
Oh yeah, Lost.
I just thought about that then. I'm like, that's a little bit on the nose.
That's so funny. But yes, the book kicks off. Sawyer is on the run. She's running from her past.
Sorry, her name is Sawyer, because it's like, saw her, because I feel like Enzo really saw her.
Oh, he saw all parts of her.
Yeah, he saw her alright. Yeah, love that. So Sawyer's on the run. She's haunted by her past, and she's threatened by her past. She's on the run from something. Authorities. She's
haunted by Kevin.
Haunted by old mate Kevin.
Old mate Kevin. On you, Kev.
Good on you, Kev. Yeah, so she catches a flight, or she's trying to catch a flight, and she is recognised by her cousin. And so, as a last-ditch effort to escape, she quickly changed her flight plans, and so she's headed from, I'm pretty sure it was Indonesia, but it could also be Bali, to Australia.
Oh, Bali's in Indonesia.
That's right. Sorry, I'm an idiot. But specifically Bali, like, I'm pretty sure she just said Indonesia. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Which could have been anywhere. So maybe I'm not dumb. Anyway, it doesn't matter. She lands in Australia. Love that for her.
She lands in the made-up town of Vanderbloop Bloop. Port Valen, that's the one.
Which sounds more like a place in, like, let's say, Maine, Oregon than it does in Australia. It never once felt Sorry, bang. Here's my qualm.
Oh.
It never once felt like an Australian coastal town.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I just imagined, like, Byron Bay.
It came across as too exotic for me. But no, imagine if there is actually a Port Valen and we're just idiots.
There's not. I've Googled it.
Okay.
It's one of the first things I did when I was reading. I was like, I've never heard of that place. And I looked it up and went, okay, that place doesn't exist. Good to know.
Okay, also, so, yeah, I'm imagining, like, Byron or Torquay, and, like, this made-up island off the coast or whatever, and if Enzo is this big hotshot shark researcher or whatever, and his boat isn't docked and he's gone missing and they know he's gone missing and they're like, we've been looking for you for ages. Hang on. We've been looking for you for ages or whatever. I feel like you would search the nearby islands. Like, they can't have gotten that far. But then there's MH37. That was never discovered, so...
Yeah, true. Or it could be a literal lost situation, like an island that's just... Even though there's a whole bigger picture towards lost.
Yeah, I never finished that, so don't spoil it for me.
On the subject of they should have searched local areas and all that. This is an What?
My God. Hang on.
What happened?
Oh no. I love you both. You're so chaotic.
My cat, Binks, was in here, and she was behind the chair, and then she just like jumped up on the side and scared the shit out of me.
Love you, Binksy. Love your work.
Oh, God.
I'm going to start that train of thought again.
Sorry.
So the other thing with them searching the local area, this wasn't just an unheard of island that had never had visitors in forever. They were getting regular...
monthly shipments.
Monthly shipments were coming by, so it was known that this island exists. Why was that not searched? It just didn't make sense for the plot.
Just the treacherous nature of it all, perhaps. Like even the seas are harsh and rocky terrain, like not ideal to regularly traverse through. And it's one of those things where people more often than not died than survived, or old mate killed them off anyway. So.
See, then I was thinking that this island was spooky poopy. And was, like, invisible, apart from, like, the once-a-month situation.
It just magically appears. That sounds like another book, though. An island that appears every 100 years.
Alice, yeah. I'm literally trying to remember what happens next in the plot.
He words her on the boat.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we get our
while
first
trying to
scene
feed her to the sharks.
of, like, sexual violence, which is just delightful because...
Oh, wait, no, waterfall. Gotta talk about waterfall.
Oh, waterfall. Actually, no, you can take the waterfall because you told it better last time around.
Bing! So, Sawyer ends up going to a bar for some day drinking and meeting this hot Italian man called Enzo, who has a whopping penis.
Because of course he does.
Because of course he does. Actually, it's very stereotypical that Italian men have giant penises. But yeah. Anyway.
Fun fact.
So he takes her behind a waterfall and he fucks her brains out. And also, like a waterfall gushes, she also gushes. Shall I go into my speech? I don't have a problem that she squirts, okay? Because it was probably mind-blowing sex. I have a problem that every time they fuck, she squirts. So you're telling me that every time they fuck, they are having mind-blowing sex. Let me tell you, as a person who has had sex a few times in her life with a few different people, that not every single time is mind-blowing. And that's okay. It doesn't have to be everyone. Okay, it's fine. Also, I don't even orgasm every single time. And once again, that's okay. It's fine. But you're telling me that this girl and this guy, who barely know each other, every time they fuck, is mind-blowing!
100% success rate. What's not to like?
Tell them how you really feel, Kenzie.
No, I agree. It's a little bit of absurdity about it. And that's, I guess, the appeal with dark romance is, like, all the lovers are just mind-blowingly good at sex. And, like, there's just a lot of sex. And, yeah, 100 success rate for either squirting or orgasming. Like, it's perfect. It's what girls dream about, right?
There's so much sex. Like, even at the most like
Opportune times.
inopportune times. Like Sawyer has a concussion, and they're like, "Oh, we need to have sex." Like,
Yeah.
I think I counted just about every chapter has a sex scene in it. They're running from their
Wow.
lives. They're having sex.
And it's a very long sex scene too. It's a lot of pages, a lot of tapping through. Yeah, I almost... Alright, actually no, we'll go. I need to do my sound effect if I have a qualm, and we're not there yet. Alright, so yes, Enzo takes her behind a waterfall. They end up back at Enzo's place, and Sawyer, our girl, ends up stealing Enzo's identity, getting a credit card out in her/his name, because that's what she does to survive. That's how she gets around, because she's hiding, she's haunted from her past, she's running away, fugitive, we've covered that. And yeah, that's what she does. Sleeps with men, more so gender neutral named men, which is like a fun little tidbit, bit of niche that she has. And yeah, so she tries to leave Enzo and run away, but then I forget the intricate details, but Enzo runs into her again.
Yeah, because she's just still chilling out in Van Halen land.
Van Halen
Poor
land.
Valen.
Port Valen, that's the one. And he's like, I'm going to fight her. I'm going to track her down.
I'm gonna kill her. Big brute.
By fucking her.
Exactly. But anyway, so he offers her a little ride on his boat because he wants to give her a day out amongst the sharks, because yes, his job requires him to research sharks, and like it's a fun little day out. And at that point, you're kind of thinking he's contemplating wanting to kill her, turn her into shark chum and everything. So anyway, that was fun. They have a fun time on the boat. He takes her on the boat.
Bing!
Yes.
So Enzo bites her lip so hard that it bleeds. First of all, hot. I liked where this was going.
Oh no. Just add it to your list of things that you like.
Yes, but then he like dunks her head in the water and like tries to drown her, but then also like sexually assaults her. So it's like I'm gonna have sex with you while sharks come and bite your head off. Which like is a very well thought out plan, because one, your DNA is gonna be all over her, and two, wait, he's just gonna give the body to the sharks, isn't he?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, never mind.
That's okay. That's alright. But yeah, a bong, I almost DNF'd at that point because I thought this is absolutely fucking ridiculous. Like, that is so stupid. Sexually assaulting / fucking, I don't know, because she kind of liked it, and then obviously, yeah, it turned nefarious, which is the dubious consent nature of it all. And then, yeah, it started, like, waterboarding her while fucking. It's like, what the fuck?
Hot.
That was just ludicrous.
I personally, okay.
It's never a good thing.
Every time we read these books, I come out with something. I personally enjoy a certain activity with one's mouth, and I especially love this said activity in the shower because I like the like the danger aspect.
Like, you could slip and die.
No, I could drown.
So you like the idea of almost drowning while getting railed?
No, well, I'm.
Fair enough.
Judgment free zone.
I think this is a safe space. Thanks for
The
sharing.
internet is a safe space.
Yeah, anyway, after that activity ensues, there's a storm, ruin, and they inevitably shipwreck, and they land on Raven Isle. I believe that's what it's called. And they find, obviously, the lighthouse structure obvious there, and so they head towards it, and they seek shelter, and they run into old mate Sylvester, caretaker of this lighthouse and island. And this is where shit hits the fan. Love to see it.
He's just a friendly old man. I don't see what the issue is. Like, he's very kind taking them in, and
Just like decayed teeth and just old man, creepiness. Like, what could possibly go wrong?
go to the toilet in a bucket. Sounds good to me.
Gives them a room, but says, "Got to be in there by 9 p.m. every night, little kids.
Got a curfew.
Got a curfew, and I'm gonna lock you in."
Pretty
Or
much.
my radio don't work either.
Yeah, it sounded pretty bogan. He was very bogan in my head
It-
when I was reading his descriptions. So obviously everything about this is sussy-wussy, just because, the curfew, pissing in a bucket. He is very hospitable, but also, very private and very well-maintained about his business and what goes on, because he's obviously hiding something.
And I don't think anyone believes the ghost story from the start.
No, but I like
I thought he was the ghost.
He was the ghost that we've made along the way.
Yeah.
That's so funny. And I guess the first night, Sawyer and Enzo, are bickering because, they hate each other and they, like, want to kill each other, all that type of nonsense. The one bed trope, lo and behold, they both argue again because no one wants to sleep on the floor. So they just share the bed, which is fine. And then throughout the night, they're hearing, like, movement in the upstairs above them, the third floor or something. And then they inquire about that with Sylvester later on, and Sylvester's playing off this whole ghost story.
They just get restless, them ghosts. Nothing to worry about. That's why I lock you up.
Yeah, for your safety from the ghosts. So yeah, that kind of like eases their mind a little bit. They kind of semi-trust Sylvester. Not really. Enzo hates his guts, and I think Sawyer is just trying to survive playing nice, because... And you'll inevitably have access to, like, a cargo ship and everything, and, like, you need to do what you need to do to survive. Play nice.
I think at this stage I didn't believe the ghost story. However, the whole being locked in at 9 o'clock at night in the back of my mind was, there's probably some sort of creature on the island that, that comes for them at night, so that's why they need to be locked in.
Yeah, I was thinking like a vampire.
Yeah, like, I didn't think Sylvester was going to be a threat. It was just more the fact that there's something weird going on the island, and that's how he's protecting them by just, you need to be in your rooms late at night, so...
Yeah, because he knows the drill, because he's been there for so long.
That's it. Yeah.
He's just sharing his wisdom. Yeah, I did like that spooky, dare I say, supernatural-esque, paranormal-esque vibe, but obviously, yeah, it wasn't going to be true. And so, in order for them to really kind of earn their keep around here in a way, Enzo was fixing things amongst the lighthouse. Sawyer's just doing Sawyer
Sawyer's
things.
looking hot.
And it's
Sawyer things.
Sawyer's the eye candy for both men.
Oh, yeah. Sylvester is, yeah.
Sylvester's like, I can get myself a new wife.
Yes. Baby making factories back in business, boys. Hey, we're all thinking that's where I was going to head. Little sex slave. At some point, the trio have a chat, and Sylvester reveals that there was once, like, a group of criminals were shipwrecked as well, and, like, they were some sort of, prisoners, and they kind of cohabited to a degree, and then it got to a point where Sylvester killed a couple of them, and then chaos ensues, whatever, and so Sawyer and Enzo believe that they're the ghosts that haunt the lighthouse.
I'm accepting the fact that, this is a work of fiction, but as someone who has been in supposedly haunted places and heard weird noise and that, I think there's a very clear distinction between you hear ominous sounds in your environment versus literal chains.
Being dragged, yeah.
Yeah, I think you'd listen to that and go, that doesn't sound like that's a spirit. That sounds like there's actually chains above.
And, like, that's, like, consistent every night almost for them. Like, something was happening, whether it be the chains or, like, the crying that they hear or, like, the banging or knocking on the roof or whatever. Like, I understand maybe real haunted places have like, a shit ton of consistency, but, like, it's still too consistent for it to be a ghost. So, yeah, at this point, everyone is really sussed out, I would assume, that, obviously, old mate Sylvester is hiding something. And so Sawyer is trying her best to get them off the island. She's trying to find this beacon, like, because it's a lighthouse. It has a big fuck-off lights that supposed to guide ships through the ocean and through the track or whatever. So she's trying to find a way to get up there, but there is no obvious way. And so they believe there is a staircase somewhere, but they're trying to find it.
And they can't.
And so while they're looking for that, that's where a lot of, like, Enzo-Sawyer relationship starts to develop. Like, they just fuck a lot at many points. And then we learn some more lore about Sylvester and his time on the island and his caretaking of the lighthouse. He'd been there for 30-odd years. He had a family, because Sawyer finds some photographs, which give a very nefarious vibe, because it didn't look like a very healthy environment for this family. So she's getting a bit, like, creeped out and sussed out just from that alone. And so later, Sylvester reveals he had a family. his wife Raven, who he named the island after, Raven Isle, and he had a daughter Casey and a daughter named Trinity. I believe Casey was Trinity is the one that allegedly, well, at the time, like, we don't believe what he says in a way, but Trinity killed herself, and then Raven was said to have escaped somehow. She ran away, didn't want to leave, left the island.
Under 6 feet
Yeah,
under.
in the little graveyard that's underneath everything.
Yeah, I do not
in the
think Raven
cellar.
escaped for us.
Yeah.
She has a permanent residence in the cellar.
And I think that Trinity didn't kill herself. Or, sorry, I think she did kill herself, but I think she killed herself because of her father's her father's nefarious relations with his children, put it that way. I think for her, she just said that enough was enough, and that's why she killed herself, rather than having a means to this.
Yeah. Like, if she can't escape and there's no way out, there's no other choice but to take yourself out. Yeah, for sure. I feel that. But yes, Sylvester, he just... I guess him caretaking this place was his life's work, and he has no reason to leave. He has, like, this sense of freedom. And unfortunately, he wanted to, in a way, entrap his family on this island as well, because at some point, yeah, Raven's like, I've had enough, like, I don't want to be here anymore. And obviously that leads to issues, and then ultimately, yeah, Sylvester, I'm going to assume, yeah, Sylvester killed Raven.
Oh, I reckon that was implied.
Because I don't think, yeah, it's, like, explicitly clear. And then, yeah, Trinity, hung herself.
And we also get the backstory of what happened with Sylvester and his leg. And what really interests me about that is he mentions that he was taken to hospital, and that was how that was addressed. Why has he got a peg leg then if he went to a modern
Yeah, exactly.
hospital? At worst, he was in the hospital in, let's say, the 1980s.
Yeah.
There's no reason for him to have a peg leg. He should have a proper prosthetic. He's not a 1600s pirate, for God's sake.
Hey, maybe that's what he wants to be. He wants to give that aspect to this whole aesthetic on this island.
I just feel like it was put in there for the sake of the plot to make him more threatening, but it didn't really serve any... It just didn't really serve any real purpose beyond being intimidating.
Otherwise, like, he would have just died from either, sepsis or something. Like, because it's a pretty gnarly injury to have, and to have no real medicine or care for. Like, he said, yes, some areas went narcotic, and that's why he had to, like, have the peg, but... And just going to a real, like, a normal, modernized hospital, and then deciding to come back. I didn't really think about that until you brought that up, so thank you.
Yeah. But also, going back to the level of fucking that was going on while our leads are getting to know each other, there was also Sawyer discovering the cave with the glowworms. She was spending just about every day in that cave.
Yeah, it's her safe space. Which is cute. Because at least it gave her, that second place.
Until she fell and, got a concussion.
I honestly thought it was going to be the end of her. Yeah. Also, bing, 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 bing. They were fucking in the cave. But also like yucky water, yucky stuff. UTI.
Yeah, fair enough.
Can we talk about the fucking in the cave though? Because the issue I had with that was, so Enzo has just trapped Sylvester in the cellar, not really knowing what's down this cellar, but just trapped him in there, run to find Sawyer, and rather being like, okay, I've got him trapped, but we should be wary and cautious and plan our next move. Let's just fuck while we're here, sleep in the cave and work it out tomorrow. And then suddenly, next day, oh wait, he's escaped. Who would have guessed? Like, come on.
Yeah, there was no real sense of urgency. Like, their sense of survival instinct is fully out the fucking window. He thought with his dick.
It was never explained how Sylvester escaped either. Like,
I think they said that, like, the latch was, like, unhooked, and it was...
Enzo's theory was that he banged his shoulder enough that he was able to undo the latch.
Oh, God.
But we probably know who really let him out.
Oh, yeah, I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, anyway. So Sawyer and Enzo's relationship, what do we think? Like, as they're developing on this island, like, they're trying to survive. They're really just trying to wait out the month, waiting for the next supply ship.
Yeah.
Also, while trying to be wary of Sylvester.
I just feel like... I don't know what I'm picturing as an island, but I just like a month. I don't know. I feel like because there were times when like Sylvester wasn't there, like he was out doing stuff during the day or whatever, and they were like managing to look around and find things. Surely they could have, stolen a bunch of supplies and stuff and gone and lived in the cave.
Maybe, yeah. I don't know.
But specific to their relationship, I felt it was really hot and cold in the sense that there was moments where they were really genuine and caring for each other. But then and I guess this is a bit of a dark romance trope, but you had Enzo being like, "Oh, I'm so obsessed with her, but I want to fucking strangle her, and I want to make her hurt."
Yeah, and I understand that the title of the book is "Does It Hurt?" but he kept asking her like, "Ooh, does it hurt?" Like, and then I hate. Again, it's a dark romance, but I hate the idea that's like, yeah, because I'm the only one that can hurt you. Like, you're gonna feel all this pain, but it's only gonna be from me. Like.
And it's like, yeah, you don't even know this girl.
Yeah.
Like, what gives you the right to cause this pain? And isn't that not similar to how, like, all right, I'm going to jump into a bit of Sawyer's backstory, but is that not replicating Kevin's behaviour towards Sawyer in a way? Like, is that just not extra traumatizing? And, like, it's not something that you'd want to romanticize?
I don't understand the idea of romanticizing pain in general. Like,
I suppose in a kinky way, like, but that involves like a conversation, and in this sort of scenario, this is not like in that sort of environment or capacity to be written that way. But yeah,
and once again, this could be like just yet another trope of the dark romance genre. But I feel like as you said, the harshness and the kinkiness and all that works well in the bedroom, but it shouldn't extend to their entire relationship with each other. Like, it should be something that's switched on for, like, having fun when they're fucking or whatever, but it shouldn't extend to just their everyday interactions.
And I think, Enzo is also using his hatred because he feels deceived because Sawyer used him and stole his identity, and, like, he's fueling that as well towards this sexual violence in a way towards her as well, which is not a good foundation for a relationship in the long run. Like, no amount of sob story could get me to convince you to fall in love with you. Like... But that's the epitome of dark romances these days. It's just sexual violence, and it's like they're both really fucked up people, and they find love somehow within that.
It's just, again, I know it's a dark romance, but it's just adding to that, like, all I know is pain, so therefore pain is all I'm worth. Which irks me, because how about you work on healing?
I guess it's kind of hard to heal when you're a fugitive, in her eyes. There's no rest and no sense of safety, so you can't really relax and heal. And I think, but Enzo as a character, being this overbearing, possessive, obsessive person, seemingly, like, assaults her, whatever he wants, like, is that not reminiscent of her brother? And, like, why would she allow that, almost? It could be also a trigger response in a way. Like, she kind of shuts off when Kevin's around, so, like, it would make sense.
It could be a play on the fact that people often say that people end up with people similar to relatives, parents, that sort of thing, because that's the relationships they expect and what they're used to, so that's what they gravitate towards. But,
like, sure, Enzo probably could have been, like, a relatively nice guy, just with a bit of, like, a kinky aspect to him, and, like, he could have helped Sawyer in a way, but just, it wouldn't be dark romance otherwise, if they're both nefariously fucked up.
And talking about Enzo, you could basically have a drinking game every time he says Bella Ladra throughout the book. Like, it got ridiculous. Like, it just about every second line,
Yeah. I was going to say, because this seems to be like a H.D. Carlton classic characterization where our male leads, this applies to Zayd as well, they're most fucked up sexually in a way, or sexually repressed to some capacity, but then their jobs are relatively good things in the community. Like, Zayd doing what he's doing, and Enzo being a fucking shark researcher, and he's all for the environment and the ecosystem. And it's like, I don't understand how people come to be the, I'm going to say, monster that he is when he's doing such good in the world, But it could be reflective of what's happening in real life.
But also the environmentalism thing dropped off so early on. It was we put together a stick and a knife with some duct tape, and we're going to use that to go spearfishing, and you people are monsters for overfishing, and you've caused all these issues, and we're never going to talk about it again after that point.
It was funny. He was so upset about the three was it lionfish? No, something else.
Did it say?
Or was it lionfish?
I think it was lionfish or something
Yeah, no,
like
it
that.
It was specific, but
But like, do you want to eat, mate? Like, yeah. But it just felt like that element of his personality just dropped off.
I mean, like, what do? You kind of just have to accept to adapt in order to survive. Like, he's not going to be a little wimpy ass environmentalist bitch every time something occurs. Like, he wants to get off this island. But yeah, I agree with you. Yeah.
But yeah, so if we keep moving forward, after Sylvester has gone missing, they've got back to the house, and is that where they discover the daughter?
Yes.
Yeah, they found a way up to the third floor where the beacon is, where the control panels are.
Yeah.
She left the bookcase open so they could see where the entrance was. So we meet the other daughter, who's surprise still alive and been the one rattling the chains on the floor every night, which has disgusting undertones that means Sylvester is sleeping with his daughter just about every single night.
I didn't get that implication, but
they reference the fact that they hear her going to and from Sylvester's room each night, right towards the end of the book.
Yeah, because they hear the chains dragging down the hallway.
I thought it was just like a little let-out time, like they're not allowed out, so they're not going to see you, so you have a little bit of breathing room.
The way we know the character Sylvester,
I do get it.
I guarantee he was taking advantage of her each night.
And her mouth is sewn shut.
Yeah, the mutilation of her as well was fucking gnarly. Yeah, mouth sewn shut. He improvised like a little peg feeding situation for her as well. But like that's probably also what he did at night. Like he probably, amongst other things, probably he had to feed her because he obviously can't do it in the daytime. Yeah, so, and she would often be crying, and very fucked up situation for Casey. It is revealed she did not. I forget what the story was with her, whether she died somehow or she was meant to be with Raven, or.
I think that.
You mean what happened to her in the end, or?
Yeah, no. Like, what was the story Sylvester spun for Casey?
She
like,
left with
Trinity
Raven.
hung it. Okay, cool. That's what I thought. And then that's when you realise, well, Raven's
after
dead.
after the death of Trinity, Raven and
Casey,
Raven and Casey left the island. Yeah, that was the argument, and that just feeds more fuel to the fire. Raven never left. I have no doubt that Raven attempted to leave and probably take Casey, but that's probably, the best lies have got elements of truth to it. So I'm sure that might have been the original plan, but Sylvester would have stopped them.
Yeah. See, this was the very intriguing part for me, because a good chunk of this book is really Sawyer and Enzo bickering, hating each other, fucking each other, all the above, amongst trying to escape. But then we get to the obviously back end of the book where everything's revealed, and it's just so suspenseful. It's very thriller-esque because Sylvester is escaping. There's tension, like where is he? Because he's.
I feel like though also Sylvester's end game was like, okay, I'm going to kidnap, make Sawyer stay here. I'm going to make her my sex slave, and then I'm going to make their children his sex slave.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and that was the whole thing too, because Sylvester was banking on Sawyer staying, and Sawyer was giving it a thought because nobody's gonna look for her here because it's such a secluded place. She was very much entertaining that idea, and then Enzo and her, obviously their relationship develops, and she realizes that she wants to be with him instead, and she wants to face her tragedies and all that stuff, suffer her consequences.
And really, it's once she tells Sylvester that no, I'm not staying, I'm going to leave, and that's when everything goes south.
He's like, well, actually, you're not, darling.
But it's like he realizes, I don't need it. There's no point in me playing the nice guy anymore. It's not going to get us what we need, or get me what I want. So Also, Sylvester's fucking delusional if you think Sawyer would ever choose him over Enzo. Oh, God.
like the biggest, the creepy old pervert or the Italian megacock. Like, there's no
the Italian megacock.
So, but his level of delusion was unmatched. Like, I loved it.
Maybe he was really hot. We don't know.
The peg leg
Maybe.
was really doing it for me. Anything's a dildo if you try hard enough.
Yeah. And if you're brave enough.
His waist is the flared base.
And so, yeah, and Sylvester and Enzo sort of beef with each other because, you know, they're peacocking because, like, you're on an island and there's one healthy, normal woman there.
I don't
like,
even understand why Enzo even, like, put himself in this, pardon me, pissing contest, because it's like, obviously you win. Like...
Okay, yeah, Enzo's delusional to think that Sawyer would also choose Sylvester. Like, she would consider that idea.
But they sort of touched on that at one point where, like, Enzo and Sylvester are having their pissing contest and whatever, and Sawyer's like, oh, I hadn't even noticed there was any, like, I sat next to him and didn't think anything of it. Like, she was oblivious to Sylvester's moves.
Yeah. Or she noticed it, but, like, she's dealt creepy men before, I think is what she said, yeah. So Sylvester would try and, you know, have a little touch on the leg, on the thigh, all that type of stuff, and try and obviously Enzo gets pissed off by that because only he can touch Sawyer.
Only I can hurt her.
I think that has a lot to say too, just about the female experience overall. Like, experiencing that sort of stuff is so normalised. It's like, creepy men are going to be creepy men. You just sort of, you shrug it off and go on with your day because we've all experienced it.
And just given the circumstance, as I just said, yeah, one, like, attractive, healthy woman on an island with two men, like, there's your survival. And it's always, yeah, a gross idea.
Also,
I'm glad Sylvester didn't get
they've been on this island for, like, about a month. Where is this girl's period?
Birth control, baby.
She did it shipwreck with them. Oh, wait, maybe she has, like, a... Yeah, okay.
Then... yeah.
But no, you're right.
What about Casey's period? Where's her?
She's probably so
hygiene
emaciated that it's gone away.
Yeah. It's actually rough to think about. Thanks, Kenzie. I suppose before all the major conflicts, like Enzo and Sawyer have a good deep chat where they like truly open up to each other. It's the battle of the sob story. But I think Sawyer wins.
Of course, he was raised by nuns. It's giving crossed.
Yeah, sexually repressed, and oh no, that's what he said. Yeah, he becomes like sexually repressed because he was like he didn't want to be there. He didn't want to, you know, it was very Catholic, like rules and all that shit. And yeah, so Enzo's mother abandoned him.
He needs to self-flagellate.
Raised by nuns. Repenter. Yep, and Sawyer's backstory, unfortunately, is that Kevin, her twin brother, sexually abused her.
Yep.
So she killed him.
And no one believed her.
Because he was like a cop and he was up in society and
then yeah, they had this whole big, deep and meaningful conversation, and they asked kind of for forgiveness of each other because one, yeah, Sawyer did steal Enzo's identity and he's really hung up on that, which is fair enough. And then I don't know why, and Enzo wants Sawyer to kind of forgive him for all the things that he's done to her during intercourse, which is also very fair. And that's when, yeah, it kind of takes a turn for Enzo where he becomes a bit more respectful and normal towards her. I don't know how else to put it.
It's like, oh, sorry, you've had actual genuine trauma. I'll be nice to you now. Like,
exactly. I think once she mentioned that, yeah, Kevin sexually abused her, that's when he's like, light bulb moment. It's like, oh shit. Because that's probably what I was doing to you.
Yeah, the bang. You say that, but yet he still continues to sexually harass her as much as he does throughout the rest of the... Even if she seems to be into it, it's still some...
And then he, like, once they escape, he just kind of, like, keeps her.
Yeah, I know. Bong? That's my red flag. Yeah.
Oh.
I want to talk about that in a second, but when we get to it...
I want to talk about the ending. I really do.
Alright, so yeah, anyway, conflict ensues. Casey is alive but yet mutilated. They find a radio. Sawyer calls for help. Chaos further ensues because Sylvester is back and there's like a bit of a standoff with guns and fighting. Like, this is the biggest like action-packed moments of the book. Yeah, Sawyer v Casey almost in a way because she kind of comes at her. And then it's Enzo v Sylvester. A few gunshots pop off It's one of those, like, we don't know who's hurt. Sawyer goes to investigate. Enzo's nowhere to be seen. Sylvester's just chilling on his fucking couch. Like a little
Sylvester's all like,
dickhead
come
that
here,
he is.
baby.
And
Sawyer puts a knife through his gut. Sawyer puts a whole knife through his gut, but yet he seems to still be able to push it, fight it off.
Yeah, Sawyer stabs Sylvester. She's trying to find Enzo. Little does she know that Enzo's in the cellar. And yeah, he manages to escape. He starts a fire from beneath the floorboards, which is a very smart idea. Very stupid idea, but smart. And then, yeah, big tussles between everybody. Casey gets shot in the crossfire. She dies, which I think is the best outcome for her, ultimately. Like, respect that. Like, just take her out, even though it was an accident. Sylvester is absolutely distressed because, like, it's his daughter, essentially. Like, in a weird, fucked up way. Like, yeah, his flesh and blood, his daughter. Daughter wife. Oh, no. So yeah, he's distressed, and then they eventually kill Sylvester. Yeah, Enzo does it in a pretty fucked up way. I think the end of the shotgun was like really burnt, and he just like put it down his throat, and it's very graphic, very fucked up, super fucked up. Because he had no bullets, I don't think.
Which, when they're doing their cover-up stories, one of the first things they talk about is like, well, how do we explain this? Because that's not a normal way to kill someone.
Yeah. But yeah, help is received on the radio. And then, yeah, so Sawyer and Enzo decide to get their story straight. They twisted the story to say that Sawyer had died here. Sawyer Bennett had died on this island. And current Sawyer is to take the name Trinity.
And say that, yeah, she was the daughter.
Really spun that out. I really like this. I thought this was really smart. I love this. Yeah. All right, well, Maddie, speak.
So, yes, initially I liked it. I thought it was smart and it was well played into, and they did very well with all the interrogation once they did get back to the mainland. But I didn't like that the moment she had the option to, I'm going to change my name to Sawyer to honour my dead friend's memory. Because it just...
That's what I was...
She had a chance of cleaning...
Yeah, that's what I was going to say when they're like, you can, take a name or whatever. And she's like, I choose Sawyer. And it's like, yeah, you could have taken any name and just erased Sawyer from existence.
At the end of the day, she may have, changed identity paperwork thanks to the island situation. But her birth family, like her cousin from the very start of the book, her birth family clearly still know who she is and would recognise her heartbeat. Like, she was better, even if she didn't want to keep the name Trinity, that was fine. But going back to Sawyer just feels just...
stupid.
Yeah. Not to mention, she took Enzo's last name without marriage, That's like you've known this guy for 5 weeks at most.
I liked the cops, though. They were like, you don't have to be with this guy anymore.
It's like,
because they thought he was in on something.
Trauma bond.
For sure. Also, Bang, or Bong, I forget which one. Bong?
Your Bong.
Bong. The fact that they told Enzo's friend Troy everything, and that she's Sawyer, like, that's the most stupidest thing you could ever fucking do. Like, what the fuck?
Bang. I've got another one on Troy. So Troy, who seems great, and he's come out of nowhere, but Troy, who seems great, and he knows everything, and then we get Enzo's in a monologue, and he's talking about how, I can't believe Troy looked at her like that, like, I'll kill him if he even thinks about it. This is your best mate who knows everything. Surely you can trust him. Get off your high horse. Stop being the overprotective asshole.
Yeah, it's just the way it is. Yeah. Because only he could hurt her. He can hurt Sawyer.
Also, I'm sorry, but when they are rescued, would they not take fingerprints? Would they not do DNA
They
testing?
covered it. They said she's never been fingerprinted. And Trinity was born on the island, so had no paperwork.
But also loved a bit of resolution for Sawyer in that when her brother died because she killed him, there were other victims coming out saying that he had abused other girls, which was a nice sort of resolution, because Sawyer was really she was shocked by that statement. And even when the cop said, oh, her sister did him a favour or did everyone a favour, implying that killing him was the right thing to do, Sawyer was like, so I'm not actually positive in a way.
The irony is, and this speaks for the real world legal system too in both Australia and the US, is that even though the argument of she did the world a favour, she would still be prosecuted for that murder, being a victim or not.
Yeah. But, like, she would still feel validated in the fact that she wasn't the only victim.
It was great for her character. But yeah, it's just really messed up that victims, both in the real world as well as this fictional one, the victims don't have a choice.
Victims need to kill their abusers more often is what I'm going to say.
Don't send them to jail, give them a medal.
Pretty much, yeah. She's innocent, Your Honour. Yeah, and the whole Troy thing, I'm like, you just compromised your entire identity. And then, yeah, Sawyer now lives with Enzo, and everything's all good in the world on their little research.
Yeah,
thing
and
we in Australia.
And we end the book with her pretty much getting railed underwater with sharks.
I know, that's so fucked up.
A real full circle moment. A real lighthouse full circle moment.
Yeah. What a better way to end. And she's actually enjoying it, and it's actually consensual. Like, who would have thought?
I'm glad she was enjoying it, because I felt violated reading that scene.
Sharks, like, coming at them at the cage. What a way to die. Oh, no, yeah, but that was the whole thing with Enzo, like, yeah, he gets turned on by, like...
Okay, but again, this is a discussion that needs to be had.
We know these dark romance books, it doesn't
communication
apply,
is hot.
Why would they want...
Even in dark romances.
They don't care about each other. They don't give a shit about each other. They just use each other for their bodies and trauma dump.
But yeah, there is so much, and yeah, I know it's in dark romance in general, but there is such a lack of communication.
Because it's not supposed to happen.
Like, there's one scene where Enzo decides that he's just going to swap holes, for lack of a better phrase.
Oh, yeah.
And there's no communication, it just happens.
I've read that so many times in books, and I'm like, that doesn't work. There's a whole prep situation.
But it wouldn't be dark romance if there wasn't dubious
Where's
consent.
the gun? I need a gun.
Where's the gun? Yeah, you'd rather the gun up the vagina than...
honestly.
Gun has a flared base.
Or you take a pegged leg.
I would.
You'd get a splinter or something. So yeah, and then there's like an epilogue, not really an epilogue, but like a 2 years later situation, Enzo and... Oh, I think that's them fucking in the shark cage. Yeah, that's them fucking in the shark tank, yeah. And it turns out they're married now, and they're live, laugh, love
I would
Australia,
have gone back and taken ownership of the island.
Yes! Oh yeah, that's what I completely forgot. Like, they had the choice almost to stay on the island and caretake it. And just be free of all consequence. But I guess with the amount of trauma and death that's happened, like, you may as well just fuck off. Who knows, maybe the sailors on the cargo ship might reclaim the island that visits them. Perhaps. Or maybe it'll actually be haunted.
The whole island was decommissioned, so I can't see why anyone would go back there.
But if you're guaranteed a shipment a month, like... But yeah, too much death now. Now that the lighthouse is definitely haunted. I guess, like, there's some aspects of it that's, like, burnt as well. So, like, I think it's not structurally sound enough to inhabit. But yeah, so that's the book. Love this for us. Well done.
You made the comment of Enzo and Sawyer trauma bonded. I think from reading this book, the three of us are trauma bonded.
Yeah, we love that. Why not? Live, laugh, love. All that good shit.
I definitely need, like, a palate cleanser.
Oh, I need to read something really fluffy and soft right now. I'm not even kidding.
You know what? I don't think I need a palate cleanser. I think this cleansed me.
Like, I think I need to read something that's the equivalent of, like, a Hallmark movie right now. Like, I need to find a cute, like, local baker boy who's swept off his feet by the miserable big city corporate woman.
May I recommend The Hating Game?
Oh, I love The Hating Game. That is so good. That was actually the first spicy book I ever read.
That was your first spicy book? My first spicy book was 50 Shades of Grey.
I always refused to read that based on the reviews I'd read, and I was mainly reading fantasy and stuff like that. So obviously I'd read some spice, but nothing really in the romance genre.
Yeah.
And I picked up Hating Game because everyone said it's so good. Oh, check it out. So I read it, mate. And it got into the spicy scenes. I was like, oh, okay, this isn't Fade to Black.
I hated the hating game. I hated it.
I really liked it because I felt like the spice leveled up throughout the book. Like, it was almost like it was teasing throughout.
Sure, yeah. The tension was there, but like corporate romance and shit is not.
Anyway, shall we go to the stars that listen? The stars that listen are a segment that we do at the end of our podcast. We each pick a 5-star and a 1-star review that we resonate with or want to fight with. We start with the 1 stars because we like to end on a positive note.
Maddie, would you like to go first? Tell us your 1-star review.
Of course.
There's so many to choose from. Not gonna lie, the lower end stars were popping off. Like, that was so funny and they're so good.
The lower ones, I was like, there's so many I could pick. Okay, I won't read this whole one because it's a pretty much a paragraph, or it's a couple of paragraphs. 1 star. Everything was so repetitive and I got bored when I hit the 30% mark. They had sex every chapter, I kid you not. Plus, most of the things the male main character Enzo said was so cringy. You're a diver who swims with sharks, not a mafia lord or a powerful fae. So let's just keep the I'm a devil who will bring you so much pain and will be scarred your whole life to the minimum. So that was my 1 star.
Alright, I have a few just because they were just so funny.
Yeah.
Alright, I'm sitting here staring at a wall fully traumatized by what I just read.
Love it.
And then, Enzo, you know what, it never was that serious. It was never that serious. This was so musty in every sense of the word. I want every memory of this book plucked out of my mind.
Yeah, I agree, because I picked that one.
Sorry, and then I have one more. I didn't get it with the hunting what's her name book, and I didn't get this. Apparently having an Italian monster penis and being a squirter is all you need to fall deeply in love from Sexcapade Day 1. They are constantly doing it in a moldy bedroom or around seawater and sand, and there is nothing sexy about having a man tell you he can smell your hoo-ha from the other side of the room. So, no more books by this author for me, and shame on all of you who said this was brilliant.
I love it. That's so good. Alright, well, since Kenzie took one of mine, lucky I have another. So this 1 star, I am sitting here staring at a wall fully traumatized by what I just read. I have 2 in the same screenshot, but they're actually 2 stars, but they were funny. So this, just really quick, this one said, "It did hurt." And then the next one in the same screenshot was, "This title literally refers to his dick."
I have another one that I didn't read out, so it's another 1 star. It hurts my brain to know this book actually exists. All I know is that Enzo smells like fish 24/7.
Saw that one too, yep. I agree. Alright, 5-star review, Maddie.
Okay, so I do not agree with these 5-star reviews. So, I have 2. This is the first part's in all caps, so I should specify. I am completely, utterly obsessed. One of the best books I've read so far this year. Enzo Vitale is the hottest man ever written. Fight with the wall.
Okay, do you guys know... Did you ever watch Blue Water High? You know Heath? That's who I kept imagining for Enzo. And, like, I don't find him attractive. No, I don't find him attractive, so...
Oh, no! That's alright.
This is 5 stars and sounds very much like Claire's 1 star. The title refers to his dick. And I love this enemies to lovers. Enzo needs to get a grip or a reality check, though.
I have a few that I don't agree with, but... Oh my god, this book. I admit, it took me about 200 pages to get into this book, but I'm glad I didn't DNF.
That's Maddie holding on for dear life.
For reference, that's half the book.
Alright.
Like, if you've got to get to 50% and be like, I'm actually enjoying this, that's a problem.
Couldn't put this book down. Such a good read. Loved the character development and spice. And then absolutely devoured and loved it as much as Enzo devoured Sawyer.
My 5-star review. What I thought... I don't agree with this as well. Just to preface, because everyone else did it. Alright. What I thought I was going to read and what I did were 2 separate things. Not gonna lie, the way Tik Tok hyped this book up, I thought I was going into something scary. I enjoyed they book. Good plot and pacing was okay. Loved the banter between Sawyer and Enzo. If you enjoy enemies to lovers, he does kind of fall first. Forced proximity on a deserted island with a weirdo, then I say pick it up. HD Carlton does it again. Good for them. I'm glad they had fun. And with that, I guess that concludes this episode of Letterboxd Book Club, unless anyone else has any final lingering thoughts that they want to share.
I just want to say on the 5-star review I had where that person said it was the best book they'd read this year, I want to hug them and recommend some better books for them.
Sure. You okay, Kenzie?
What's going on?
I want to know.
I've left a little surprise for you in the audio recorder.
Okay.
I farted. But I put the mic right near my butt.
I'm gonna keep it in.
Nothing says best friend like that.
I knew it was coming.
So you thought you'd enhance the experience and make sure I get to experience it as well. And now for the world to hear.
Sorry, okay, yes, that is Letterboxd Book Club.
Thank you for listening, and Maddie, thank you for joining us again.
Thank you for having me.
No workers. Next time we'll do a fluffy book.
All right. I would love to come back, so that'd be great.
Alright, thanks everyone for listening. Find us on Instagram at letterboxd_book_club. From there, our link tree is in the bio where you'll find us in all the places: Spotify, YouTube, SoundCloud if you're old school, TikTok.
Alright, thanks for listening. Catch us next week. I don't know what's out, but whatever's out will be out.
Bye.
Cheers. Bye.